Parkman for the record, and I am the Director of Administration for the agency. Today present, we have Vice Chair Barry,
Present.
Commissioner Fowler,
Present.
Commissioner Stein,
Present.
and we think we're going to have Commissioner or Chair Doherty coming into the meeting soon, but we'll come back to this to let her announce when she's here. Does that work for you? Okay.
That sounds good.
And we have Commissioner, soon to be officially Commissioner Kinsley as well.
Welcome, soon to be Commissioner Kingsley. Next order, we need approvals for the October 16th, 2025. Sorry, for the, oh yeah, for today's meeting agenda. May I have a motion to approve today's meeting agenda?
I'll move to approve today's agenda.
I'll second.
So move, oh, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Excellent. So moved. Now we need to approve last month's meeting minutes. So a motion for the September 20th, 2025 meeting minutes to be approved.
I move we approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Old business. We have Director Wynn providing us with our director's report. Take it away, Director Wynn.
You're on mute.
I'm on mute. Yes, I was just getting there. I know. Hang on. All right. Micah was supposed to tell me. That's his job. Good afternoon, Chair Doherty, if you've gotten on now, otherwise Vice Chair Barry and members of the commission. For the record, my name is Connie Wynn, and I am the Executive Director of the Oregon Racing Commission. I am pleased to share that Commissioner Mark Kinsley, DVM, has been sworn in by the legislature. We are excited to welcome him to the Oregon Racing Commission. And I promise our meetings don't usually start out this slow going forward. Please don't be afraid that you joined us. A little bit about.
I'm on the line now.
Great. I'm doing the director's report, and then you're in charge again.
Okay, thank you. I'll keep trying.
You're good. Thank you. Diplomat of the American College of Veterinary Surgeon, Dr. Kinsley specializes in elective and emergency large animal surgery. He grew up in upstate New York and earned his Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree from Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine in 2008. That makes me feel very old, but yes, that's a while ago still, and he's got some great experience. Following graduation, he completed an internship at Mid-Atlantic Equine Hospital in New Jersey, then worked as a mixed animal ambulatory practitioner in Western New York while volunteering at the Finger Lakes Racetrack. He later completed a large animal surgical residency at Oregon State University. Go Ducks, go Beavers, sorry, wrong one. It's funny, that's my school. Dr. Kinsley joined Oregon State University's large animal surgery service in June of 2024. Previously, he served as the executive director of hospital operations at Iowa State University and has had more than a decade of experience as a large animal surgeon, including 7.5 years as surgery service leader at Michigan State University. Throughout his career, I am so sorry. My dog has been so good all day, and now she decides to bark. Throughout his career, Dr. Kinsley has worked extensively with racehorse populations. At Cornell, standardbreds and thoroughbred racehorses comprise a significant portion of his caseload. At Mid-Atlantic Equestrian, he regularly worked with horses and trainers from 5 nearby racetracks. At Michigan State, he supported low-cost surgical programs for retired racehorses, helping them transition into second careers. At Iowa State, he oversaw medical services in a major breeding area for thoroughbred racehorses, including breeding and post-falling care. Dr. Kinsley brings a wealth of experience and a deep commitment to equine health and welfare. He is enthusiastic about joining the commission and contributing to its mission. Please join me in welcoming Commissioner Kinsley. In other news, the fall meet has concluded, and I want to recognize the many people in and out of ORC that have assisted in making it a successful summer. Thank you to the associations, staff, employees of the racetrack, and many others. I know it was particularly hard with so many changes in our veterinarian department, and I am confident we will have things streamlined for next year so there is more consistency. The licensing database is much closer to completion, and I want to acknowledge all that have been assisting in the user testing. I especially want to thank Micah Lloyd, who has taken on the data conversion, which is a considerable project to do in your spare time. Additionally, I would like to thank Dr. Palmer. Some of you may know her as Chair Palmer or Commissioner Palmer, but she has been serving as our senior veterinarian for the fall meet, for leading the veterinarian department for us. We couldn't have raced without you, Dr. Palmer. Finally, we have initiated the auditing process for the HUB grant funds. Those will all occur between now and the end of the calendar year. Karen Parkman and I will be conducting those reviews together. This concludes my report.
Okay, is there anything else? This is Margaret. I'm still trying to get on. For some reason, I can't get on any computer. So anyway, so are there any questions? And please, you're going to have to say who you are and say, I have a question. If you have any questions of Director Wynn's report. Okay, hearing none, thank you very much. The next thing we have is the budget update.
All right, back to me again. Well, I kind of wish we were doing this at the end because this is a less fun part of my discussion process. I don't know how many of you have been following the state news, and I know I talked a lot about our budget last time, and I gave you some information about how the good news is they weren't interested in fee-only organizations, and I thought we were in really good shape, and we had already made a ton of cuts, and even though it was streamlined, we had preserved all of our HUB funds. Well, the other shoe fell off. So we have been asked, every agency in the state has been asked to submit 5% cuts for the biennium. And although there are a few quote unquote untouched funds that they can't cut, they did not include any of those in the Oregon Racing Commission. Everything is up for grabs. I spent a considerable amount of time working with Karen Parkman over the last week or so, going over every line item. Other department heads have given me their input, and I have also extensively worked with our CFO and the governor's office. And because of all the cuts that we've already made, pretty much the only place that is left for us to make cuts at this point is with HUB funds. That is not ideal. I don't know if they're going to require us to make all of these cuts, but what we have to submit is, I know you can't read this, it's on here, and it came out to being, they've had us cut it in two piles. The first is 2.5%, and then the second is another 2.5%. I know you can't read this, so I'll try to blow it up a little bit. And again, we worked extensively trying to see if there was any place else that we could make the cuts, but we've already made more cuts than we can afford to make in other programs. So what this would be $191,554 the first year. That came out to of what's left, because we've already made one distribution, thank goodness, 13.131. We got as close to the bottom line as possible, so we didn't have to overcharge anyone of each of the associations. What that came out to is OHBPA would be For the 2.5%, 14,772. Quarter horse racing would be 14,772. Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association, 1,576. The Eastern Oregon Livestock Meet would be 11,439. The Crook River would be 22,073. And the hardest hit is Southern Oregon Racing Association because we give them the most money. Now, if the commission wants me to dice and slice this in another way, I'm open to any of it. If you want to say, hey, we just don't like the racetrack in Portland, Oregon, we want to slice all of them, that's up to you, but it's got to come out of this money. And I thought this was the most fair way to do it, is just do it by percentage across the end. So with that, I want to open it up to discussion with the commissioners.
Okay, is there any discussion? Please identify yourself and have any questions or discussion. Okay, maybe I'll start out, and it's getting closer. I've got I'm trying to find a password for Microsoft, but anyway.
Commissioner Barry has his hand up.
Okay, Commissioner Barry, question, comment.
I just wanted to say I support Director Wynn's proposal.
Okay.
Not that you like it.
Any other? Yeah, no, nobody likes it.
Nope, I support it. Nobody likes it.
Yeah, no. And I kind of said the same thing. It's like, let's just hope that it stays the way it is, because there could be, this is just the beginning of the biennium, and there could be cuts down the road, is all I'm saying. So I think that you've looked at it very carefully and done it in a very thoughtful manner. So we don't like it, but we understand it.
Commissioner Fowler has her hand up next.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I support Director Wynn's recommendations. I think it really sucks, but it sounds to me like that's the most fair way we can do these cuts across the board to all the organizations that depend upon us. And hopefully this situation doesn't get any worse.
Yeah, it is, because it's not only cuts here, it's cuts to every department, whether it's education, safety, roads, whatever. So it's going to be continuing. So anyway, any other comments?
Dr. Stein?
So I have one question. So this also, in terms of our budget, the testing comes out. Testing is paid by us, and how much is that? And the second part, well, after I hear that, then I'll say something that would anger probably every horseman out there.
I know you will. I bet I know what you're going to say. So here's the deal. Our testing went up exponentially this year because we had to switch labs quickly when our lab lost their accreditation. And we went to the most expensive lab because we already had an agreement with them. The fair meets have been reimbursing us for their samples. So the fair meets have been paying for them. Not the commercial, but at the fair meets. Now this year, because it was such a sudden change, we did not have them pay the difference. Dawn, our auditor for the fair meets, she did a great job of showing them how much it actually cost us and how much we actually charged them. I can get those numbers to you, but I don't have them offhand. I'll be glad to get those to you if you'd like on how much, but it's about $325 for a paired sample. And we do that at a minimum, the first place winner of every race. And if it's a big race, the first and second, and if it's a really big race for us, first, second, and third. So like this weekend, we had a $50,000 race. So we did first, second, and third. And then we had a good size 23,000. So we did first and second. And that's up to the discretion of the the stewards with input from both myself and of course the veterinarian staff. We did do more hair testing this summer as well. The hair testing, I don't have that number in front of me, but it's pretty high. We only did hair testing on the bigger races. We were starting to view at the beginning. The tests were 300, yes. We were starting to do more hair testing on the quarter horses at the beginning of the year. But then when this new biennium started, we started hearing more rumbling. So we haven't been doing as much hair testing as we would be otherwise. It's only been on the big races.
So, okay, having heard that, I will just make a comment, informational comment. When this occurred in New York, because all the testing was paid out of the license fees that the tracks paid, and it had to do with on-track handle, as the on-track handle declined, they started to impose a per race fee to every participant in a pari-mutuel race. It was not the full amount of testing, but it was an amount used to make up for the difference from what the state paid and what it actually cost. So I don't have the actual formula, but that went into effect probably 5 or 6 years ago. It's gone up every year. But depending on what we're looking at in terms of purses or grants or anything like that, we may have to look at something like that.
Okay, thank you. Hey, listen, I have a request just because I can't see anybody. I would like to know if Vice Chair Quinn, if Barry could lead this, and I can at least listen along while I still try to get on my computer. Is that something that would work?
I'd be happy to.
It's very
Chair
hard for
Doherty.
me to do this when I've got no video. Okay.
We got your back.
All
Okay,
right,
thank you very
here
much.
we go.
I'm listening and still trying. Because I think the next thing on the agenda, we were still talking about report,
budget.
or we're
Do
talking.
we have more
we're talking
budget
Yeah.
questions, I guess, is
Oh.
where we're at.
I think all the
Okay, so
commissioners
let
have spoken up, other than our brand new commissioner who probably doesn't have a lot of input on this. So
I don't know
think we
that
can go
you
to the
need
next
any
one.
kind of a motion or anything.
No.
Just go ahead and do your business, Director Wynn. Next up, we have the Medication Committee report from Commissioner Fowler.
Good afternoon, everyone. Commissioner Fowler here, reporting on our Medication and Safety Committee meeting that we had just before this meeting. We talked about a number of things that we could potentially look into for changes to medication and safety rules this year. I'm just trying to make sure I'm okay. The topics we discussed as far as potential rules or items to have some further discussion with the full commission. One was track warning systems, something that would alert other jockeys on the track if a horse had fallen or if a jockey had fallen. That's something that I would recommend, and I know the full committee agreed that would warrant some further discussion with the full commission. We talked about, excuse me, the paddock in Tillamook and whether there'd be any way to reconfigure that so that there was more room in that paddock. That topic, as well as test barn requirements, such as whether or not we can keep our test barns fully enclosed, secure all times, whether we could potentially put in Dutch doors in Prineville. Those topics, as well as the Tillamook paddock, we all agreed that there is an upcoming phone call with all of the fair meet locations, and those were things that could be discussed further. We discussed a shockwave treatment and whether we should address this type of treatment in the rules, something such as no shockwave treatment 7 days or 14 days before racing. I think there was an agreement that that's something the commission should further discuss. We discussed briefly Lasix with 2-year-olds and with stake races. We decided that that was a topic that may be better revisited at a later date, did not need any further discussion at this time. We discussed chain covers and whether there was a way to educate the horsemen that it would be a lot better look on the track if there were something covering the chain that, say, went over a horse's gums or their nose. I've seen leather and vet wrap, things like that. That would, I think we all agreed, take some education for the horsemen, but it was certainly something to consider. And then lastly, we readdressed the Coggins issue as to whether that should stay at a 6-month requirement or 1 year. I think we were all in agreement that whatever it is, we should decide on it and stay consistent with it, but that was another topic that should be readdressed with the commission. That is a summary of our discussions. I'll be happy to answer questions if there are any.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Fowler. Action items on that, it sounds like we need some discussion added to the next full commission meeting, so I assume you'll coordinate with Director Wynn on that. Were there any other things that we need to act on as a commission at this time that I missed? Or are there any questions for Commissioner Fowler?
No, I appreciate this, Margaret. There's something weird on here, but anyway, at least I can see you all. And it seems like but the Medication Committee and Safety Committee is really working on some issues that are very pertinent and ones that they have got some solutions to.
I have a question for Connie. Do you know when HISA is supposed to release their study on Lasix for 2-year-olds or something? I read something where they had like a 3-year study they were doing. You're still on mute.
I know that they were working on this study. I have not heard on the release on it. Usually I get notified when those come out, so we'll let you know if I find it.
With regard to the chains, I think it's a great idea to encourage people to cover them. Director Wynn, is that something you could simply encourage your staff to just start opportunistically discussing with horsemen as they see it and discuss that? It just makes us all look that much better. It just makes us all look that much safer, more humane as we should.
I think our presiding steward, I think our presiding steward, Mr. Twiggs, did say that he thought that it would take a big educational effort to work on that, and it sounds like he is willing to help lead that charge with the rest of us. I think that it would probably best come from his team as well as our veterinarians to really get that message across, because they're the ones that are going to probably be in best contact with them.
I think the horsemen will see that it makes sense. That's why my understanding is we don't need to do any kind of mandating or anything like that. It's just it will help the image of our sport. Anything else on that? Sorry, my computer just there. Okay. New business. Hey, swearing in Commissioner Mark Kinsley, DAVM. That was Chair Doherty. There's a script for that, I believe, which I don't have.
Okay, actually, can you guys hear me?
Oh, we
Yes,
can hear
we can
you.
hear you great.
I yield to Chair Doherty.
Well, then I will yield back to you for the others. But anyway, first of all, Dr. Kinsley, it's wonderful that you're here. And it's such an advantage to have you on the hearing, on the planning, or on the racing commission. But if you could, we're going to formally swear you in. So if you could raise your hand and repeat after me. I, Mark Kinsley, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Mark Kinsley, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the position of Commissioner of the Oregon Racing Commission
of the position of Commissioner of the Oregon Racing Commission,
upon which I am now about to enter.
upon which I am now about to enter.
Congratulations, Doctor. You are now a formally member of the Oregon Racing Commission. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, is there anything you'd
Thank
like
you all.
to say? Is there anything like you say?
No, just thank you for having me. I'm excited to join, and I'm glad to be a part.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, back to Vice Chair Barry.
Thank you, Chair Doherty. Okay, committee assignments for new commissioner. This
Is that one other thing you want me to talk about, Director Wayne?
I would appreciate that.
Okay,
Yes, since we've already talked about it, that'd be great.
right. You have, because apparently what we have, and I think that you've been involved with this, Commissioner, is that on the Safety and Medication Committee and also on best practices is what we would like to assign you to.
And just so you know, the safety committee, they'll meet more often right before the race meet, but they're not going to meet a lot in between. And the best practices sometimes only meets once or twice a year.
Right.
And they're usually on commission days.
Yeah. And so those are the committees, if you would agree, we would like to assign you to.
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay, great. Thank you so very much. Look forward to working with you.
Excellent. Thank you both. We have a request from Prineville to reallocate funds. Doug, are you present? I'd like to recognize you. Just identify yourself for the record.
Hi, I'm Doug Smith from the Crooked River Roundup. And what I presented at the last meeting was basically what we're representing at this meeting. We had a safety grant for lighting in the barn area. We were able to find the lights at a very low price compared to what we had been quoted. And so we will have, when we complete that process, we're expecting $4,500 left over. When we bought the rock picker, we had estimated that there would be a $2,500 cost for the freight. We, in our request for the rock picker, had split that cost with the commission. We paid for half of everything, and the commission was paying the other half. I talked the people that built the rock picker into shipping it for free. So that creates about $1,250 that is left in that account. And then the final item is that we have historically ran 36 races in Prineville. On Friday, we were only able to fill 9 instead of 10. So we have one purse that the commission donated or contributed $4,000 to. And so that money is in our hands here in Prineville. And so what we're asking is that the remainder of those funds be dedicated toward us improving the lighting on our track. We've actually bought some sample lights, put them up. They're very bright. They're very inexpensive. We're going back to the people we bought the lighting for the barn area from. And what would probably 3 years ago been $150,000 project, we think we can accomplish for about 25. And so with the funds from if we can repurpose the state funds that we already have possession of and contribute some from the Crooked River Roundup, possibly the Crooked River Roundup Foundation, which is our 503c branch, and there's some funding available from Crook County itself. We believe that we can get the lights replaced, or at least the vast majority of the lights replaced before next year. So it will not take any more funds that we don't already have. I just need your permission to repurpose the funds.
Questions or comments from the commissioners? I see Commissioner Fowler.
I support this, and I think it's great that you, Mr. Smith, were able to save money in replacing the barn lights, and I 100% support the money you saved on that being put towards lighting the racetrack. I think I stated at the last meeting I was in Prineville at the races. It is quite dark on the backside of that track, and so I am in support of this request. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Fowler. Director Wynn.
Yes, I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that even though we are making cuts in places, the way that the state budget works with our limitations on what we can spend, the other option would be for us to get the money back, but I don't think we would ever be able to spend that money. I think it would get sucked up. So I think if everybody believes this is a good use of the money, that money is much better spent with him than it is going back to the general fund.
Thank you, Director Wynn. I see Chair Doherty's hand
Yes.
up. Chair Doherty.
Hand up with my strange camera. Actually, I agree with Director Wynn, because this is something that, especially with the budgetary concerns that people have, that we would not want to have that kind of sitting there and having it swept away to go someplace else. And I know that the last meeting, Commissioner Fowler really talked about how the lighting was absolutely necessary for the track and gave a good case for it. So I would be in favor of this.
Thank you, Chair Doherty. Any other comments or questions from the commissioners or others? Commissioner Stein, please.
Yeah, I would just move that we accept the proposal from Crooked River to reallocate those funds.
I'd second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Do we need anything more formal than that, Director Wynn? Does that satisfy our requirements?
I do paperwork now.
Oh, that's what you get paid the big bucks for. Good job, Director Wynn. Chris Montesino, our investigator, is now going to give us a report on head check effectiveness. Take it away, Chris.
How y'all doing? Chris Montesino, Chief Investigator for the Oregon Racing Commission. I know last meeting I was pretty sick, couldn't talk. And the head check people actually put on a pretty good demonstration on like how they run things and all that. So I'm very appreciative of their time and their efforts to talk to the commissioners and commission about their program. Some of the pros about this program is everything is transferable when it comes to like HISA tracks. So I know we're not HISA, but it's the same program that HISA uses. And if jockeys get approved through us, they don't have to go through all the hoops when they go to like Washington or California or anything. So the information for their physicals and all that transfer with them as long as they're already in the system. Biggest thing that it helps with is people coming in from different tracks. They did their physical in January or February, and now they don't know where it is. And then they have to go get another physical to prove that they've had one for this year. Whereas head check, if it's already in the system, it's already uploaded, they already have a green check and they don't have to go spend additional money getting a second physical because they lost their old paperwork and don't know where the doctor was. Kind of like, oh, I just happen to be in this area and I'm going to use this doctor now that I'm here. So it kind of saves money on their end from that. There's also another pro is that it shows the status if they're injured on another track. So one thing I noticed when sometimes jockeys, I'd go through head check, I'd see a red circle next to a jockey, and I'd look at the history, like, oh, he was injured at this track, so he can't run at our track if he decides to come to us without a doctor's note. So it kind of prevents the jockey from hiding potential injuries that were taken at another track. The cons, there were several jockeys that couldn't meet all the requirements, specifically not the physical. They couldn't get everybody was able to get the physical on hand. It was the head check that they call it the SCAT-6 report, where it kind of goes through their concussion history, head injuries, and how they feel and all that stuff. And that's something that we just couldn't get everybody to do, or it cost them extra money to go to a doctor. Even if they had a physical scheduled, they had to pay more to get that that concussion protocol thing signed off. So that was a con for the most part. It was easier in the beginning of the year when we had the funds to allocate for online interviewing with that, and the jockeys didn't have to pay out of pocket. But once that time ended, it's kind of hard to get the jockeys to go through that entire thing and pay extra money for it. And it was also kind of a late implementation on our end, which I understood, but we're able to get a lot of people through. And even the HISA, even the head check people say that our numbers are a lot better than even HISA certified tracks. So even though it seems like we only have 50% involvement, is because only about 50% of the jockeys showed up. So that were already licensed in Oregon. So another problem that was last minute walk-ins. A trainer bringing in a jockey from another state to ride one race. Those were the kind of the one-offs that, all right, as long as they have a physical, we'll allow you. Just you can't run again this meet until you've completed everything. And overall, I'd say it's a very good program. The concussion protocol, I mean, it's for jockey safety. It helps us study the long-term effects of concussions and the trauma that it may have on an athlete. Many sports use some type of concussion protocol thing. Biggest ones, hockey, football. And although there may be different systems, this one works for us. And mainly is because it's already been tested. It's already been proven at the federal level with HISA. I would suggest continuing to use it at least for the next year to see if we could get 100% participation in it. And that means they do the physical and their baseline checks and all that. But in the end, I believe it's just going to benefit the jockeys. It's going to benefit the injuries more than it will hinder it.
Thank you very much, Chris. I really appreciate you presenting to us on that today. Any of the commissioners have any questions or comments for Chris?
Nope.
Okay. Glad to hear that you found it to be a useful tool and that you think it'll increase safety for our jockeys. Now we'll move on to public comment. Any members of the public who would like to make a comment? I don't see any hands. Does anyone see any hands?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And we didn't have any contestants.
This is Rod.
Oh, Rod.
Commissioner
We'll
Barry.
go ahead and introduce yourself for the record, Rod, and we'll hear what you have to say.
Rod Lowe, Director of Racing, Grants Pass Downs. The only thing that I didn't see on this, and maybe we're going to do it in the future, but about the timing of the horses having to go to get an ecropsy. And maybe Connie can talk to me about that.
I'm so glad you brought that up. we have done some research and we'll make sure that we put that on the next agenda item. I have had some back and forth conversation with the necropsy center. And I know Jan did too, but I felt like, because I've gotten different information from different people, it was important for me to personally talk to them. I have a call scheduled with Karen next week, but it does sound like the people who are running it now that I'm talking to directly think that there's probably very few cases where we would ever need to get the animal there directly, which is a bit annoying since we've been doing it that way. I know it's been a lot of trouble for you. So I will formally put on the agenda after we have the call for November, but that is a plan, I believe.
Thanks, Director Wynn. Rod, do you have anything else
All right,
for
thank
us
you.
today?
No, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. No contested cases. I don't, are we going into executive session this meeting? No, okay, I didn't think so.
We're going home.
Oh, after that last meeting, or the last, commission meeting.
Yeah.
Hello.
Confirmation,
This is-
sorry,
Oh.
who do I hear there?
This is Leah Nelson with the Oregon Quarter Horse Racing Association.
Hello, Leah, go ahead, please. I didn't see the hand raised. I
Under-
apologize.
Under public comment, I wanted to ask Connie Wynn if she could, she did not give us the numbers when she was talking about the budget situation for Grants Pass or for Tillamook, and I was wondering if she could give me those. You gave the HBPA, the Quarter Horse, the OTOBA, Eastern Oregon, Prineville.
Let me pull it up. It's basically 13.131 for each one of them. If I didn't get them for you, I'll go back and get them. What I'm gonna do is I will write all this up and send all of you an email with the exact numbers in it. Will that work?
Okay, yeah, I got the other numbers, but yes, that's okay.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, thank you very much, Leah. Anything else today, Leah?
No, thank you.
All right, hey, thank you. Next commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, November 20th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. remotely via Microsoft Teams. There's a link on the commission's website for that. At this time, I will accept a motion to adjourn. Oh, sorry, do we have more?
Before we do that, this is Commissioner Doherty. Before the 20th, I will become an expert on technology and computer, whatever. I think what it is I've got an iPad, and sometimes iPads do not work with Microsoft Teams. So I will go down to Portland State, go to their technology department, go through and apply for a degree, and make sure that we're here. But I really appreciate Commissioner Barry going through and handling the meeting, and the rest of you understanding that I majored in speech and theater, and technology is not necessarily my thing. Thank
By
you.
hook or by crook, Chair Doherty, thank you for your teamwork today. I always appreciate it. Oh, and since I got the bully pulpit, Dr. Kinsley, welcome. So glad to have you with us. Really excited to get to know you better. I know everybody is. It's going to be a while before we have an in-person meeting, but good to see you virtually. At this time, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, look,
Oh.
that was great. Good job, Dr. Kinsley. Commissioner Kinsley, it's official now. And Commissioner Stein seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. So moved. It was really great to see you guys. Way to go doing the state's business. Cheers. See you soon.
Thank you much. Thank you much.